YouTubers, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the Hot Lead Zone, and today's video is frequently asked questions about wet tumbling with the Frankfurt Arsenal Platinum wet tumbler. So first of all, as you know, we just did some rifle brass, and we'll show you how that came out. Very nice result. First question that's commonly asked is that does the brass stay this nice? Or does it start turning darker in the future? Does it start getting little marks on it? A little bit of stain marks, this kind of thing? Well, let's look at some brass that we did about a month and a half ago. This jug here has 38 Special that we did about, maybe a little over a month ago. Let's see how this is holding up. I'd say it's holding up just fine. Inside and out. We'll grab another handful of it from deeper down and let you look at that. Get that in focus. And that looks pretty good. Let's just put that one off to the side. And now, here's some 44 Magnum that we did about a month and a half ago. One of the first batches that I ever did. We'll just dump it out. And then let's let you get a good close-up look at that. I'll go ahead and get the camera off the tripod. Can't tell exactly if that shine has changed at all. It looks pretty good to me, and that's all that matters. I don't mind it looking just like this. So it seems that it holds up very well. How you like the way it looks inside, so let's show you a few of those inside case views. Another question I'm getting a lot of is what's the purpose of the aspirin tablet? And the thinking is the aspirin tablet will stabilize any reaction that's left over in case we don't rinse it properly or rinse it enough. Well, we have to see how that works out. I've just started putting the aspirin tablet in. This batch did not have the aspirin tablet. So we'll have to wait a couple months and see if the brass that we put the aspirin tablet in makes any difference. The question I'm getting is, can you actually tell the difference between the wet tumbled brass and the old-fashioned dry media tumbled brass? And the answer is yes, most definitely, because this brass doesn't have that talcum powder feel of the dust. This is dust-free brass, like using new brass. Now, one change is that I've noticed that using the old containers from the use of the dry media and all the beat up old containers, you almost don't want to use those kind of containers for our new wet tumbled brass, because this brass is so nice, and here we're putting it in these old dusted containers. So I wiped off the containers before I put them in here, but still you see how the containers are all scarred, so it's time for some new containers. Well, guess what? Just like the US cavalry coming in to rescue in the nick of time, last night I got this box from the Dead-Eye Kid. And Elson, the Dead-Eye Kid, is into bodybuilding now, and so he's using a lot of these protein supplements as part of his nutrification of his bodybuilding. Well, when he gets done with these protein supplements, like Syntha, he saves me the empty jugs. And all I've got to do is rinse these out, dry them, wipe them off, and they're ready for me to put brass in or bullets or whatever. Nice, tough, thick plastic jugs. Just what we need. Talk about tough. These jugs are robust. So there's two of the big Syntha 6 jugs. And then he's got some smaller ones. The No Explode. Smaller jug. And guess what? Here's one that I don't know if he knows about this or not, but this one's still full. The No Explode. Maybe he's trying to tell me that maybe I need some pumping up. He's trying to pump me up. Maybe he's hinting that I should use some of this. I should tell him that he gave me a full jug in there. I should give it back to him. But then look at this. Amino acids. Man, these bodybuilders. Look at what, there's some in there. I can sample, this is like a sampler of all these nice amino acids. There's a little bit in this one. But look at that, perfect size for, say, cast bullets. Or I could take ammo to the range in this. Or probably like 150 44 Magnum cases. Here's when it's almost useless though, it's a little tiny thing. C4, isn't that explosive? I thought we're doing no explode here, but then he's giving me a little jug of C4. Questionable. But then look at this, extend. Well, I don't know what condition your condition is in, but I think most of us guys can sure stand some extend, right? Whatever our condition is. Extend, great stuff. Gotta try some of that. The gift that keeps on giving. Oh, whoa, look at this, a big jug of extend. Is that a hint from the Dead-Eye Kid? Well, let's get back to our subject. So another frequently asked question is, how come Fortune Cookie 45 LC, you're not depriming your cases first before you run them through your wet tumblers so that you can clean out your primer pockets? And that's a good question, but here's the answer, and that is, I don't like extra work for myself. If you take out these primers, you're going to use a depriming dye to do that. You got to run each case through the dye. That's work, that's time. And then the other thing is, you're handling the cases that come back from the range that have the contamination of the primer residue and the powder residue and the bullet residue. You're handling that. And sure, you can wear gloves and all that kind of stuff, but why bother? If you run this through your wet tumbler first, you will have completely contamination-free cases to work with. And, as you've seen before, progressive reloading doesn't require that we clean out the primer pockets. I haven't cleaned a primer pocket on a pistol case in over 40 years. You just don't need to do that. So why take the time? Why bother? We're not dealing with a system that's trying to hit a minute of angle at 400 yards. This is fine. So by doing it this way, we control contamination, handling completely free of contamination brass, and you don't have to use the time to decap in the first place. Now you can do that if you want. As reloaders, you can do anything you want, and if it makes you feel good about doing it, it's all okay, absolutely fine. Go ahead and do that. I just don't see any need myself for doing that. So it's an individual thing, and depending on how finicky you are about your brass, you can do it any way you want. But this is sure nice looking brass, whether you decap first or not. And they're clean and dry inside and out and completely dust free.